So I'm just got the Sony x900e, and I just wanted to show the input lag. I know a lot of people had questions about that because this TV is rated. It's got like slower input lag, like a higher input lag than its competition. So yeah, like I think this is a really good example because Killer Instinct is a really fast-paced game where reaction time and the input lag really matters a lot. And then you can have in practice mode, you could see the frame data up here, and so I'll show you like how it is. And I'm doing these tests out of game mode because in game mode, obviously on any game, it's gonna be good. Even with this TV, which again compared to other game modes and other TVs, it's got a lower input lag, but supposedly around like anything less than 50 milliseconds of input lag, and the human eye supposedly doesn't notice, which makes sense. Like even like this one's got like I believe like a 34 millisecond lag time out of game mode. I mean in game mode, and so like 50 milliseconds, what that would be is there's 1,000 milliseconds in a second, so 100 milliseconds would be basically the equivalent to 1/60th of a second. So like say if for this, for example, at 60 frames per second, which is what most games are locked at, and if they're running well, that's the max you're gonna get anyway. So that means one frame is 100 milliseconds of lag. So obviously, like game mode is well below that on any TV. But the reason I'm testing this is because I have a bunch of the extra settings turned on, which is like what a lot of people like probably wondering, and what I was wondering, and was having a hard time figuring out is out of game. If you want your game to look a lot better, you actually don't want to run it in game mode. Like if just looking better, if reaction time isn't a thing, then you put on all those extra settings. So I've got most of the extra settings on right now. After I do like the frame data, I'll just go through in the list and tell you what exact settings I have turned on and how high and everything. And yeah, so for the what you're looking at for the frames, and I'll show the control. I'm going to show the controller on screen too, so so you can see exactly when I'm hitting the button. But just for now, like what you want to be looking at is in under attack speed. The first two things are what you're looking at. The first number is how many frames of it takes to start up the attack, and then the second number after that is how many frames the actual attack takes place in. So like the second, like when you see the other character get hit, that's like when the full attack has been carried out. So like basically like this, that's 6 total frames for that whole kick to be thrown and hit her. That's 6 total frames. So like, and it's like 4 to start up, so that's 4/60th of a second. And you can't unfortunately measure how the movement like back and forth like this, but yeah, it's like I'll put it on the controller on the screen here, just so you can see exactly when I'm hitting these. Let's test it over there. And then yeah, so like you see that this is like so this one's like one of the quicker attacks with this character. So this one's the one that I just did. That's exactly 4 frames. And I'll try to do I'll do some exaggerated button presses. I'll put my finger way off so you can kind of see. And then this is more more actually though is how you'd be doing these attacks. See, like you can see, like I can't feel any lag, and this is a game. This is keep in mind, this game is a 1080p game. It's not a 4K game. I'm gonna do those in another test and another video. I'm gonna do a shooter one in 4K, but I don't have any shooter games that run native 4K on Xbox. I'm doing this on Xbox, and my PC is not capable of running games in 4K. So like that test is a wash too. But yeah, it's like, so you can see. I'll do some more exaggerated ones, so you can see exactly where my finger's hitting it. I mean that. Do like maybe like a slower one. So there's like 9 total frames. I mean that's about the quickest attack you can get right there. And if you see like that with the analogs, or I could use the D-pad here for when she's moving. I mean it's pretty immediate. Like at least in a fighting game, then I mean then this game is a very fast moving fighting game. Like I'll just like do a quick combo here. So like this is a better one. I mean you see how quick everything's moving, and then this game has like combo breakers and stuff. I mean these movements are so quick, and honestly it's not affecting things. And I'll just like go through the list of what settings I have turned on too, and I have like a lot of the extra processing things that are slowing it down. So I mean I'm not seeing a game impacting thing out of game mode. Obviously if you're a pro gamer and you know your money's on the line, you're training, you want to get like, you would obviously have like as little input lag as you want. In that case though, you wouldn't buy any TV, you'd just buy you know, a 1 millisecond gaming monitor, and that's the only instance in any of these I see really mattering. I did like so far just on my PC, because I'm also using this as a PC monitor, I have noticed it's more noticeable than in a game so far. The only thing I've noticed the input lag in was a mouse movement, like on a PC. And so like but again, like for that, the only thing that matters if once you get used to it, the only thing that matters is like RTS games like StarCraft 2 and stuff. And then alright, so this won't show up on screen, but I'm just gonna go through on things on what I have turned on. So if you're wondering if it's gonna slow it down or not, basically I only have like one of the picture settings turned off that would slow it down, and everything else is on. So I've got yeah, I mean I've got my own custom one settings because I like specific things. But so for picture adjustments, advanced settings. Alright, so for brightness, I've got black adjust medium. I've got advanced contrast enhancer on low. I've got auto local dimming on medium. I got the extended dynamic range on low though. But like all those, I believe it doesn't matter whether it's low, medium, or high. It'll still take the same amount of processing power for most of these things. So just having it off is the only way that actually speeds up it. So like all those are on. Color, I've got adjust the color to temperature and detail. Live color on, I've got live color on low. So clarity, I do have for reality creation off. Let me see if reality creation off, and then all the other stuff off in clarity for this mode. And then oh yeah, so motion one's one of the ones that'll really like slow it down. And I do have sin motion off for games just because on this is a good example of a game. Obviously, I'm recording this on stream, so I'm not like showing it on camera, the effect. Like, so this is coming through my Kinect video. So like any of these settings, you're not going to actually see come up on the screen. The only thing you're seeing is the frame data and the me hitting the input lag buttons. But for syn motion, I think it's really bad for games like this because you're moving, like, you're getting back and forth movements and like arc movements so fast that you're going to be having like in between frames interpolated where they're not supposed to be. So like certain like positions of the legs and feet in this and like really fast-paced action movies, which isn't much, it would be like a kung fu movie or like fighting games in particular. Yeah, you're going to be having like ghosted after images of limbs in places that they're not actually supposed to be because that's when like syn motion and motion flow aren't great for games. So it'll make it look worse. So yeah, I have that off, and I have smoothness to I have motion flow on though, and I have it to 2. So and then I got HDR mode. I got HDR on auto, and all these like HDMI video auto, color space auto. Yeah, and so that's all the settings I have. So if you're wondering, and then I'm planning on making another one of these with a shooter. Like I was saying, like that might make a little more of a difference between looking around. Like I said, on the PC, I did notice, like with all these settings turned on, that you do notice like mouse movement. So I'm assuming I'm gonna notice a little bit of like the analog stick movement, a very slight delay. So like with all this on, so like, but again, like if that's the case, like on most games, that's not gonna matter. So I'll switch it over to game mode. So like if you're wondering on if this TV is like, if it's like make or break, whether you're gonna like it's not like you have to have like that super high input lag or super low input lag on every game. You only want it on specific games in competitive mode. So like if you were looking to play like a competitive shooter like Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, Halo, whatever, like Destiny, like if you were looking to play those competitively, or you're really trying to get that edge in the multiplayer matches, then you can just turn it on game mode and you're still going to be fine. And if you're that's good enough for even if you're a competitive gamer, but and it's the only way it's not good enough is if you're a pro gamer. So like if you're a pro gamer, then buy a gaming monitor, and then but yeah, like you can just for most of the thing, it seems like you can just leave on like all the settings you want to make everything look better. If you really like the motion flow, or you're playing a game where like the high motion flow won't make it look like worse, like this game, then like the syn mode, like if you some games having syn mode on actually would make them look better, but yeah, so you can turn those on and you'll be fine. And yeah, like if it's like a shooter and you're noticing on the shooter, then for that specific shooter, then put it on game mode. And yeah, that's hopefully yeah, if anyone has tested anything like this on some other games and like native 4K shooter games, like I also like to see the ones where it upscales to 4K, like the Xbox One enhanced games specifically. Like they have a lot of the games that are already out and they're upscaled to 4K. If anyone has that, like put a link in the comments and check those out.